First Unitarian Church is part of the Unitarian Universalist Association. The UUA was formed in 1961, and it was a merger of two pre-existing denominations, the Unitarians and the Universalists. So Unitarianism goes back to the Middle Ages, really, almost, the Reformation, but way earlier than Luther. So we trace our roots back to Socinius, who was a Unitarian. He talked about that Jesus was not divine, that he was just a person like we are. And so the church had really taken a left turn when it when it decided that Jesus was a divine being or a God. Yeah. And so that idea was one of this sort of mix of ideas in Reformation era Europe, where people are really questioning all of the Catholic doctrines. And Unitarianism is one of those that drew up out of that. In the 1500s, we had a Unitarian kingdom. The Kingdom of Transylvania was ruled by King John Sigismund, and he was a Unitarian. And so he made this thing called the Edict of Torda, which proclaimed that the Kingdom of Transylvania would have religious tolerance and that Unitarianism would be one of the accepted religions. The other side is Universalism, which is the idea that all people make it to heaven. There's no such thing as hell. Everyone is saved because God loves us, and God wouldn't create people just to punish them. God is a loving God, an expansive God, and so this idea started to arise in 18th century England, and then came across, and so both of these religions were prominent in colonial era America, and in revolutionary America, colonial America. These were really important churches. So, as I said, in 1961, we joined forces and became the UUA. As far as our LGBTQ acceptance, we were one of the very first to ordain queer ministers. Now we have, I don't have any numbers on this, but I would say we are probably the mainline denomination with the most queer ministers.
Wow.
We were the second denomination to marry queer couples, and we're very proud of that.
Yeah.
A lot of queer couples come to Unitarian Universalist congregations to be married. And so the other thing that I would say about us is that we and the United Church of Christ, who have always been our partners in queer acceptance, have a sex ed program called Our Whole Lives. We developed it together, and it's queer affirming and queer inclusive.